The incident happened in Svay Rieng province in 2003. Soka was pregnant at the time. Even though hospitals already existed by then, most Khmer villagers still strongly believed in traditional midwives and spiritual practices. Ye Lu was one of those old generation midwives, but she had also studied some mystical rituals. One day, when Soka went into labor, her mother went to call the midwife, Ye Lu, to come help. Soka was lying in the middle of the house, right above the center support post. In the past, whenever someone gave birth, people would dig a pit beneath the house directly under the birthing spot. They would also place thorny branches around the house and at the entrance to prevent evil spirits from entering. Ye Lu instructed the family to position Soka's head directly above the main post of the house and to tie a red cloth to the beam above for protection and blessing. Then Soka delivered the baby. Blood and amniotic fluid splashed across the wooden floor. Some of it seeped through, but much remained stuck on the floorboards. Because everyone was busy after the delivery, no one cleaned it properly. 2 days later, Soka could barely move. Her body was still weak. That night, the family lit lamps, blocked the staircase with thorn branches, and stayed alert. As the night grew late, the chickens suddenly fluttered in panic and the dogs began howling. Everyone thought an evil spirit was roaming nearby, especially since a birth had just taken place. They stayed awake, walking up and down, talking nervously, unsure of when or how the spirit might appear. Suddenly, Soka, who was lying weakly on the floor, stiffened and locked her jaw. She began pounding the floor with her hand to wake the people beneath the house. They rushed upstairs and saw her body rigid, jaw clenched. They tried to hold her still. But Soka's brother-in-law suddenly shouted, "Close the windows! Close them now!" The neighbors heard the panic and ran to shut the windows too. He then cried out, "The spirit climbed in through the window." It followed the smell of the birth blood. When the nearby neighbors heard this, they took white lime powder and marked symbols all over the house for protection. The night passed in fear. The next morning, they finally cleaned the blood beneath the house and covered all the windows and doors with thorn branches, above and below. That evening, many men, young and old, gathered under the house. They told each other to stay alert and take turns resting, but as the night dragged on, people became sleepy. Suddenly, one man felt an icy chill at his feet. He woke up, and what he saw shocked him. There was only a head, no body, clinging to the house, licking the dried birth blood. He screamed, "It's the spirit!" Others looked up, but before they could see clearly, the spirit moved too fast. They only caught a glimpse as it flew off into the forest. And from that day on, people believed that the birth blood had attracted a hungry, wandering spirit, one that came to cling to the house in the night. When everyone saw the spirit, they grabbed knives, sticks, and clubs and ran after it, chasing and striking wildly. In their panic, they didn't think at all about Soka, who was still weak and lying upstairs. Suddenly, Soka's body went cold. Her breath stopped, and she died, leaving her newborn child behind. The villagers began whispering among themselves. Soka died because the spirit licked her blood. It took her life. Fear spread through the whole village, and people began saying that an evil spirit was haunting the area. 2 days passed. Then the villagers claimed they saw a glowing fireball flying behind the house on 2 separate nights. People panicked and rumors grew even stronger. Soka's family became angry when they heard that some villagers were speaking badly about the child, saying the spirit was connected to it. They went to confront those people and demanded, "Did you really see it? Is what you're saying even true?" Tension, fear, and suspicion continued to rise throughout the village. They went to ask Uncle Su, the one who claimed he had seen Soka's ghost, whether what he said was truly real. But instead of giving a clear answer, everyone just kept talking among themselves, spreading fear. Sina continued speaking. "Yes, Uncle. I really saw it with my own eyes. I saw a fireball flying out from behind the house. I swear it's true. I would even swear on my own life. On the first night, I woke up around 11 p.m. because I needed to use the toilet. I saw that the window of the aunt's house was open, and then I saw the fire rise up and fall back down again before disappearing. On the second night, I wanted to be sure, so I secretly watched. I saw the same fire again, the same color, only a little bigger this time. It came out of the same window, flew downward, and vanished." After finishing his story, Uncle Su stopped talking and warned everyone not to speak about it anymore. So Sina remained silent too. From then on, none of the villagers dared to talk about ghosts. If anyone mentioned it, people threatened to report them to the police. Even if someone really saw the ghost, they still wouldn't dare say a word. At night, whenever people passed in front of Soka's house, no one dared to look toward it. Later, Soka's ghost began haunting again. But this time, it only targeted the people inside the house. The elders in the village often went outside to urinate around 7 p.m. One night, while a man was doing so near a large tree, he suddenly heard footsteps close by. But he couldn't see anyone. Only one branch of the big tree was swaying while the others remained still. Then that single branch snapped and fell to the ground. Everyone panicked and ran, even though they hadn't seen the figure itself. Suddenly, a stone was thrown from the tree toward them. People screamed, "It's the haunting spirit!" From that time on, no one dared to enter the forest behind the house. As months passed, the grass there grew tall and thick. The spirit no longer haunted the villagers, only the people inside Soka's house. One day, Soka's family noticed the grass had grown very dense, and they were afraid snakes might be hiding there. So 3 of her relatives went to clear it in the afternoon around 3 p.m. While they were cutting the grass, one of them suddenly heard the sound of a baby crying, but only one person heard it. He asked the others, "Did you hear that?" It sounded like a baby crying, but the others said they heard nothing and warned him, "Don't talk about it." They continued cutting when suddenly they heard a dog barking. They went to check and saw the dog running up a tree. One of the men froze in fear, staring up as the dog climbed higher and higher. They ran back to the houses, shouting for help. When they arrived, they asked the elders, "Uncle, did you also see the dog climb the tree?" The elders replied calmly, "No, that dog must be mad." But the men insisted, "No, uncle. I really saw it with my own eyes." The elders continued asking questions. What kind of dog was it? "A small one, white-colored," they answered. Hearing that, the elders already knew it was the work of a haunting spirit. But they didn't say anything. Instead, they told everyone, "Go wash up and rest." Soka's mother, Yainak, began to feel afraid. Later that night, she went to the kitchen and saw someone washing dishes. She asked, "Who's washing dishes at this hour?" There was no reply. Yainak continued, "You're washing dishes like my child used to." Suddenly, the figure stopped washing. It slowly turned around and stood face to face with her. The body was as big as a gasoline drum. Its stomach was ripped open, spilling out the organs inside. It reached out its hand toward Yainak's shoulders. Terrified, she leapt backward and fell off the house onto the ground below. When she looked up, she saw the ghost of her own child sitting on the bed, hands folded, staring down at her from above. Ignoring her pain and broken arm, she ran and screamed for help. Later that night, Yainak called a Khmer spiritual healer to examine her. She told him, "A spirit is haunting my house." The healer replied, "The fire spirit is already inside your home. Why didn't you call a healer earlier to drive the spirit out?" Yainak answered weakly, "I didn't know where to find one. I don't know anyone." The healer said, "All right, I will help you." He went to her house, chanted protective prayers, sprinkled holy water, and cleansed the central pillar of the house using coconut water. Then he returned home. But that night no one could sleep. Before it even reached 7 p.m., they heard heavy footsteps stomping across the ceiling, pacing back and forth. Everyone pulled their blankets up to their faces, trembling in fear. Not a single person dared to sleep. They cried out again to the healer, begging him to return. He came and recited mantras, cleansing the house from top to bottom. Around midnight, someone appeared, dressed as a monk, sitting on the central beam of the house, hands pressed together in prayer, eyes wide open. Suddenly, a gust of wind struck the mosquito net. Someone lifted the net to weigh it down. And at that moment, they heard chanting again. Everyone looked up and saw the monk's head, eyes wide and staring, fall from the beam and drop to the floor below. Everyone lit incense and prayed through the night. The next morning, they went searching for more spiritual healers. 5 of them came, but none could stop the haunting. In the end, the only person who could deal with the spirit was Ye Lu, the same midwife who had helped deliver Soka's baby. Ye Lu asked Soka's mother, "Is the spirit haunting very strongly?" Soka's mother replied, trembling, Yes, Aunt. It's terrible. We don't even dare go upstairs during the day. We're terrified. Yelu thought for a moment and said, The spirit is probably still clinging to the central pillar of the house. She told them not to worry and asked for a sharp knife and a bowl of water. She washed the knife in the bowl, recited Pali prayers, then carved sacred inscriptions into the pillar and poured the water over it. After that, she pressed her hand against the pillar and said, This pillar is hot. On the day she gave birth, did you clean it properly? When they shined a light between the floorboards, they saw that dried birth blood was still stuck in the cracks. It had never been cleaned. Yelu said, That is why the spirit keeps coming back. The blood is calling it, and it can kill you. Everyone helped scrub the pillar and clean the floor beneath the house. Yelu warned them, The spirit is still in the pillar. Watch carefully. It will leave and head behind the house. Then she remembered the villager who once claimed to have seen fire flying out from the house. Yelu commanded, Cut down all the trees behind the house, especially the big ones. Don't leave any. Afterwards, she sent everyone out of the house and went upstairs alone. She placed a bowl of water on the central pillar and began chanting from afternoon until dusk. She then revealed the truth. The spirit haunting this house is Soka's soul, which has turned into a fire spirit. It clings to the pillar above, while I remain below. I can hear it above me, but I will not look at it. She asked the spirit, Will you leave this house? The spirit answered, No, I will not leave, unless you use harsh magic. Yelu pressed a burning incense stick into the pillar, and the fire scorched the spirit's head above. She shouted, Step on its head, force it down! But when she looked upward, the spirit wrapped itself tightly around the pillar, lying flat on its stomach, refusing to come down. It would not leave the house, not unless the pillar was removed entirely. So they tore out all of the central support posts, everyone, and took them to the pagoda as an offering. Only after the pillars were removed did the haunting stop. Later, when they rebuilt the house, lightning struck 2 of the new pillars, destroying them. They had to replace them again. Before the reconstruction, they invited 10 monks and 5 spiritual masters to bless and seal the property so that no spirit could ever enter again. If the spirit had not been driven out, Yelu warned, it would have killed every unborn child in that house. Far worse than before.